Welcome to the recapped book. At the beginning of the story, a man named Charles is shown who is a billionaire. That is, he has no shortage of money and he wants to live a life with his wife Mickey, who is also a model, have a special memorable photo shoot. That's why he hires a famous photographer named Bob and takes him and his assistant to a resort in Alaska so that it can shoot photos there. He tells everyone not to leave any food open here because there is a wild bear here which is very dangerous. After this, everyone goes to their respective rooms. When Charles gets hungry at night and when Bo comes downstairs, he sees that there is a piece of meat there and also the door is open. Then he closes the door and a wild bear attacks him. Charles goes to great lengths and it is a prank on Charles because today is his birthday, so his wife and all his friends together prank him. After which everyone together wishes him. Charles's wife gifts him a watch while his photographer gifts him a pocket knife. There is also a note in it which Charles does not read. Next day, everyone goes for photo shoot. Today a photo shoot of Charles's wife is to take place. The same photographer is flirting with his wife, who is watching Charles from a distance. Now a male model is also needed for the shoot. Charles says, "Why don't I become a male model?" But the photographer clearly accepts it. Actually, this photographer is a childhood friend of Charles, but Charles is a very successful person. Whereas he has not been very successful in his life, and now the photographer's eyes fall on a photo which is of a local hunter. Tells the owner of the resort that I need this hunter for my photo shoot. The owner of the resort tells the photographer that it is very difficult to find it, yet he tells him its location. This location is deep inside Alaska where it is very cold. Charles tells his friend the photographer that I will also go with you, and after this Charles, the photographer, his assistant, and a pilot, all four of them leave for the place in a plane. After reaching there, they search everywhere for the hunter, but the hunter is not found there. There he would have left a note in which it is written that if anyone wants to meet me, then come to this address. Charles says that we all should go there. After which they again set out from the plane to search for the hunter at the address where the hunter is, and on the way a flock of birds collides with their plane, due to which the main engine of the plane stops and their plane crashes and falls into the water. The pilot dies due to the crash of the plane, but all three of them somehow save their lives and come out. It is very cold here, that is why all of them have to light a fire here as soon as possible. They are in luck because the photographer has a matchbox which is waterproof. He uses it to light a fire in the wood. After spending the whole night, the next morning Charles says that we should go to the hunter's cabin. Someone will come and there are also some convenience items there which we can use. And now all three start moving towards the cabin. Then on the way they see that a bear is coming towards them, which is very dangerous. The bear chases them to kill them. Everyone starts running, and after some time they reach a river which is very difficult to cross because the flow of water is very fast. Charles has a lot of knowledge of the forest. He finds a cut tree there, seeing which he tells the photographer and his assistant that we can make a bridge from it and leave, only after that we can put that tree over the river and put it there. They try to get out, start crossing the river one by one. The photographer and his assistant go to the other side. But when Charles is in the middle, a bear comes there and starts shaking the wood. Charles's foot slips and he hangs from a tree. The flares in his bag, which fail to give a signal, get washed away in the river. Charles somehow comes up and crosses the river, after which the bear leaves from there. Now after walking for several hours, we see that everyone has turned around and is back at the same place. They don't understand what to do. It becomes night and everyone is hungry. The knife that Charles has, which was given to him by the photographer on his birthday. He gives that knife to the photographer's assistant and tells him to tie it to wood and make a spear so that you can catch fish to eat. He goes fishing when he hears her screaming, and when Charles and the photographer arrive, they find that the photographer's assistant has accidentally stuck a knife in his leg. His leg starts bleeding, hence a belt is tied on his leg to stop the bleeding. Now Charles gives the cloth which has blood on it to the photographer and tells him to burn it because its scent can lead the bear to come here, and everyone decides to spend the night here because the assistant cannot walk and it is raining. Also starts happening. Then Charles sees that the cloth he had given to the photographer to burn is still there. It was burned before Charles could do anything about it. The bear attacks them. Charles tries to scare away the bear with burning wood but is unsuccessful. That's why they run away. The bear kills his fellow assistant because he does not know how to run away. Next morning, it starts raining snow here, due to which the cold increases even more. Also, they are hungry, so now they set a trap in which they catch the squirrel, and then they hear the sound of the helicopter, which has come to find them, but at this time it is in the middle of the trees. They are trapped, that is why no one can see from above, and by the time they come out into the open field, the helicopter goes far away from them, due to which the photographer angrily says, "I have a problem with your money and your success." This is because both of them had started the journey of life together, but Charles had gone much ahead. Charles does not respond to his words. After this, they once again start their journey. It is very cold here and they do not have anything to eat, and the biggest problem is the dangerous bear, which is still after them. Now they try to catch fish to get food, but then a bear comes there. Both of them run away from there, and now it is night, so they make a circle of fire and sleep in the middle so that the bears do not attack them at night. The next morning, Charles tells the photographer that we have to kill that bear. How long will we keep running away from that bear in fear? And the photographer does not agree with him. He says that we cannot face him. He is much stronger and much bigger than us. But Charles now makes a spear with his knife and puts a bloody cloth in front of it, so that he gets attracted by the smell of blood, and after seeing Charles, the photographer also gets ready to accompany him. They move forward slowly, and then the bear comes in front of them. They attack the bear, and in this attack Charles falls down, but the bear still does not leave them. They run away to save their lives, but the bear quickly reaches them, and both of them attack the bear, but the bear attacks the photographer and injures him. Before he can kill it, Charles attracts it towards himself, and when the bear comes from above to attack Charles, he kills it with his knife. After which they remove its skin and make a blanket for themselves to protect themselves from the cold, and now they have plenty of meat to eat. Right now they don't know which direction to go. That's why Charles's wife gave him the watch. He takes out one of its needles and turns it into a compass, with the help of which they can go in the right direction. After walking for an hour, we reach a place where there is a cabin, seeing which one becomes happy. But on going inside they realize that there is no one there. This is a hunter's cabin. Here they get liquor to drink and a map. By looking at the map they can understand where they are at the moment and how far away their resort is from here. Besides, there is also a vote in the river, with the help of which one can leave from here. Goes to check it, and then Charles sees the box inside which there was a knife which was torn by the knife. He finds a bill inside the box. A receipt is received in which it is written, "1 men wristwatch from Mickey," and Mickey is Charles's wife's name, from which he understands that it is the wristwatch which his wife had given him on his birthday. Actually, he had bought it not for her but for the photographer. He comes to understand that his suspicions were completely correct. The photographer, his childhood friend, is having an affair with his wife. He feels very sad after knowing this, and then the photographer comes there. He says, "I have come to know everything, that you are having an affair with my wife." Here the photographer accepts and says, "Do you think your wife loves you? She married you for love. That he married you only for your wealth and your money." And now he points the gun at Charles and says that we both worked very hard in life, but luck favored you. You became rich, but now this nothing will happen. I will kill you and marry your wife, after which everything will be mine. And he asks Charles to go out so that he can kill him. Charles traps him in his words and takes him to a place where there is a trap which Charles had seen earlier. And now the photographer falls inside the trap, due to which his leg gets injured. If Charles leaves here, he will be killed inside this pit. But Cal saves him and brings him out. Actually, the photographer is Charles's childhood friend. That is why he cannot leave him dying in the forest like this. Charles takes the photographer inside the cabin, where he cleans it with a cloth and then puts him in the boat and sets out on his further journey. On the way, the photographer apologizes to Charles and says that he has not been a good friend. Charles says, "Don't think about this." After traveling a long distance, they stop at a shore where the photographer tells Charles that it was not your wife's fault. "It was I who trapped him in the web of my love, that I have forgiven both of you. Now you just rest," says the photographer. That now is the time to rest forever. Charles gets angry on this matter. Charles says that if you talk about dying, then I will kill you with my own hands. Actually, Charles wants to save her. He does not want her to die, and then the sound of the helicopter comes. He waves his shirt and signals them, but they are unable to see his signal. After which Charles puts wet leaves on the burning fire, due to which a lot of smoke starts forming, seeing which the rescue team and helicopter people see him. He goes to the photograph to explain this, but the photographer has died. There is great sadness in his death. He brings his body back by helicopter, where his wife and the media are waiting for him. He goes to his wife and gives her the watch which he had given her on her birthday. But actually he had bought this watch not for her but for his boyfriend, a photographer. And when he returns the watch to his wife, she understands that she has come to know the whole truth, but Charles does not tell her anything. The media people ask Charles how the other people died. Charles emotionally tells that all those people gave their lives to save him, and with this the story of this film ends here. Hope you liked this video.